I'm fascinated by David Lynch, and I was fascinated by the movie Dune. And I thought Journey was a pretty good character, but I'd like to kind of get your thoughts on that. What it was like working with David and that production, which was a difficult production from what I've understood.
I think it might have been difficult for some people. There was an awkwardness for me because of the circumstances under which I had been cast. The fact is that when David Lynch cast me, which was an emergency procedure because they had had to let another actor go, which is a euphemism for being fired, and I came in at very short notice. I was already working on a movie in Europe, all over Europe, and so they had to organize me flying continuously backwards and forwards from Mexico City to Frankfurt, from Mexico City to Geneva, from Mexico City to Brussels, and that went on for about 6 weeks. But the fact is, David, who I admired then and admire today enormously, David Lynch, believed he was getting somebody else. Because the Patrick Stewart he had seen backstage after a matinee of Henry IV, a long, grey-haired, straggle-haired, sweating, cadaverous-looking King Henry IV. And apparently David had said, "Give me that man's name, I want to know who he is." And so when they had to replace an actor, he said, "I know who we want, that guy we saw in London in the theatre." And when I came face to face with David in Mexico City in his hotel room one afternoon, I walked into the room and he looked up and he said, "Yes?" Poor guy. Because this is what he got. You know?
Well, anyway, for what it was, you were great in the film, and it was...
Thank you. It was a wonderful experience.
Very exciting. Especially for that, at that time when everything pretty well much was practical. There was no CG. I mean, it was all, the film was all practical.
Pretty much so, yeah. I think entirely so. And David Lynch, a profoundly creative director, and a wonderful cast, some of which became my friends for life, Kyle MacLachlan, most notably. It introduced me to a different world of show business. And I was forever grateful for that, and the fact that David makes such a big mistake in casting me.